The normal means of operation of the program is to try to record all data and then display it and cut out the segments you're interested in. This can be done according to velocity or elapsed time. A separate video shows how to do this with velocity. We'll now show how to do it with elapsed time. So we'll load a raw data file. We have one here. Accept that. We zoom in on the profile. We can see there's some initial positioning of the vehicle before the braking test is performed. This becomes a bit clearer as to what is happening if we go into the velocity profile. So we have the vehicle stationary for several seconds, and then an initial start, and then it becomes stationary again, and then the actual braking profile is performed. And we can also look at the acceleration profile, and we see again constant acceleration. There needs to be an offset applied to this, but while the line is straight, it's no acceleration, and the indication is the vehicle is stationary, and then the braking profile is executed towards the end of the trace. So we want to remove the extraneous information at the start and end of the run. We can do this by using the path command. So we select path. We can then go into the display and zoom into the beginning of the run. The dots are quite large, so we can go into analysis, point size, and define small dots. We might even make them the smallest size possible. So the cyan points are any velocity 0 or close to 0, so the vehicle was barely moving where the cyan points are. So we would like to start at this dot, so we highlight that point and we set start. We select that point, so we have to select it and then pick up the data for that point, and then we set start, and we set a start position, and then we can drag the screen down to the other end of the maneuver. And we can zoom in again, and we can select possibly this point, which will be somewhere towards the end, and we select that point and we set end. So now we have a start and an end position. Just in passing, each time we select a point, we get the velocity, bearing, latitude, longitude and altitude of that point. So this, although primarily intended to extract segments of larger sets of data, can be used to analyse points along a path. We then save path, and we would call this test 3, and we save. It now summarises the information about what we are saving and from which file. We then say OK. We can then close the path display, zoom to extents, and then we can reset the screen to remove all existing data, and we get the offer of loading a new file. We've just created test 3. We accept that, we load it, and we now have the segment we cut out from the larger set of data. We can look at the velocity chart for this, and we can see that we possibly needed to select a point 1 or 2 further back from the start, but basically we have the profile and also the end. And similarly for the acceleration path, we've now isolated the particular maneuver, so that is what we're after.